Hey everybody, this is Rex Bear with Leak Project. Just wanted to give you a couple of quick updates that I noticed on a website that's really cool. A lot of you probably haven't even heard of it. It's a website that actually keeps track of like global incidents, whether it's something in Japan or Russia or even here in San Antonio, Texas. So I'll give you the links to that here in a minute. But what I wanted to share with you guys, first off, is the radiation levels are retarded right now. They're through the roof. I got up this morning, and as you can see right here, the radiation levels are 0.17 microsieverts an hour in San Antonio, Texas. That's ridiculous. 0.17 microsieverts per hour. Now, I don't know what's causing the increase. Some people are saying it's a galactic cosmic wave of radiation from the stars. I don't buy it because it seems to be compartmentalized within the San Antonio area more than others. Now, I'm sure there's other places that are rising as well. I went out last night, and I've got images of this. The radiation levels were down to 0.1. last night here in San Antonio. So I've got images of that. I'll share that with you. That's for the naysayers out there that say it's not possible to have radiation below 0.16 microsieverts per hour because that's the global average. So another thing that I want to share with you guys as well, and I think this is very interesting because anytime I see something on the news that says swine flu pandemic, get your vaccine. Oh, you got to go to the store and get shot up with a bunch of poison so you don't get the flu. It might not work, but you need to get your flu vaccine anyway to go to work if you work at a hospital. Anyway, I'm digressing here, but there's this flu, essentially. It's an avian flu. It's the strand H5N6, and it's not being talked about in the media at all, at least here at home. It might be in Asia, might be in Japan, it might be in Europe, but they're not talking about it here whatsoever. And if you go to this website, you're going to see an enormous amount of issues with this virus. You're going to see that it's scattered throughout Japan, a bunch of Asia, as well as Europe, many countries in Europe. And when you look at the pandemic level, it's high. It's a highly contagious avian flu that until this year, according to some research that I'm doing on, matter of fact, I'll read it to you guys right now, human infection with avian influenza A H5N6 virus. On 4th of May, 2016, the National Health and Family Planning Commission of China notified WHO of an additional laboratory confirmed case of human infection with avian influenza H5N6 virus. Now it's all over Japan, it's over Asia, it's in Europe. I'm going to show you actually this website that pinpoints different areas where there's been reports of this virus. Now, what I would like to know is why are they not talking about this on the media? If it's the swine flu pandemic, which they made you think if you got the swine flu, you're going to die. I knew people that had the swine flu that went to Vegas the day after after it was confirmed that they had the swine flu by going to the doctor. The doctor says, yes, it's the swine flu. What does this person do? He goes to Vegas the next day and parties his brains out. And then he goes back to work a week after that. That's the mindset of most people. So nothing to worry about here, though. They're not telling us about this. So that's where I'm getting at with this. If you guys remember the Zika virus scare, oh, you're going to have a baby with a small head if you get a mosquito bite with the Zika virus, where in reality it was the chemicals causing these poor children to be born with small heads. I mean, how horrible is that? You can do the research on that. It's not a conspiracy. It's a reality. It seems like if the media pushes something as a big scare, they've got an agenda, is where I'm going with this. They've got a reason that they're doing it. They're trying to sell you a product. They're trying to put fear in your mind for something, either now or in the future or both. If they don't tell you about it, but you can find it on your own, for example, this research that I've just done, I found this flu virus scattered throughout Europe and Japan and Asia, but we're not hearing anything about it. And this is a very highly contagious flu. Now, is it going to be as detrimental as the 1918 flu? I sure hope not. I would just make sure to be aware of this kind of stuff. So you guys, if you start seeing a bunch of people get sick, really sick, and then they start pushing this flu vaccine down your throat, saying you got to get the flu vaccine, maybe they're slowly doing that. Now, recently there was a bill passed with the CDC giving them more power to lock down society in a martial law type scenario if you don't play ball. So we'll see what happens with that as well. Things to be aware of. Just thought I'd give you this quick update. Radiation levels are ridiculously high, and there is a very contagious flu spreading across the globe that nobody's telling you about, except for me and maybe a few other people out there. So be aware, question everything, and be the change you want to see. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/clandestine time lord, and leakproject.com. And no, I am not an Illuminati member because I hold my hands like this. I just thought I'd nanu. All right, you guys, take care. Have a good one. All right, so this is the map that I'm referring to. You can see the link to the website right here. And all those yellow dots are where they've located or where there's been somebody that's reported that specific type of flu. Now, I typed in this strand, and as you can see here on the Google search engine, this is a list of some of the articles that pull up. You can just type in H5N6 in Google, and you'll have a chance to look through this. It's got several articles, but there wasn't a whole lot of information on it. Who has a little bit of info on it? So let's go back to the map here and take a look at this for a minute. What I'm going to do is just kind of click on a few of these icons to show you essentially how the details work on this site. So you click on the icon and you can see the details of the virus, where it's located, how many people have actually been reported to have the specific virus. But not only does this website show stuff for viruses and different bacterias and biological hazards, but also nuclear incidents, technological incidents, anything that's considered a event, I guess you could say. So let's zoom in here. Let's pull this up. I'm going to scroll down. You're going to see that this H5N6 virus is extremely dangerous. And until this year, according to WHO, at least the article that I just pulled up, it hasn't been reported in humans. So if this starts spreading across the globe, and it's a very dangerous virus, if you don't have a powerful immune system, you're going to have a tough time fighting this thing off. Even if you do have a good immune system, depending on the level of danger that this virus actually is. I'm not a biological expert. I'm just going off of the information here. And a lot of times when you don't hear about something on the mainstream news, but you can find it on emergency websites like this that don't have an agenda except for to keep information out there to the public, for the public to be informed, that's when red flags come up in my mind. If I see the media pushing a specific pandemic, most of the time I feel that that's a staged pandemic to create a lot more fear in people, to sell products or push certain agendas, as we talked about earlier. I brought this up many times on Leak Project. I just find it fascinating that not only are the radiation levels insanely high here in San Antonio, now I'm pulling up research like this on this flu that until this year, and it's almost 2017, and we've only got one more day left, but until earlier this year, that specific flu strain was not transmittable to humans. Now that brings me to the next thing here. Could this be a designed virus? Could this actually be a laboratory type virus that was released for certain agendas as well? Those are questions that all come into my mind and things to think about. Definitely question everything. We'll keep you updated. Hey everybody, this is Rex Bear with Leak Project. Just wanted to give you a couple of quick updates that I noticed on a website that's really cool. A lot of you probably haven't even heard of it. It's a website that actually keeps track of like global incidents, whether it's something in Japan or Russia or even here in San Antonio, Texas. So I'll give you the links to that here in a minute. But what I wanted to share with you guys, first off, is the radiation levels are retarded right now. They're through the roof. I got up this morning, and as you can see right here, the radiation levels are 0.17 microsieverts an hour in San Antonio, Texas. That's ridiculous. 0.17 microsieverts per hour. Now, I don't know what's causing the increase. Some people are saying it's a galactic cosmic wave of radiation from the stars. I don't buy it because it seems to be compartmentalized within the San Antonio area more than others. Now, I'm sure there's other places that are rising as well. I went out last night and I've got images of this. The radiation levels were down to 0.1 last night here in San Antonio. So I've got images of that. I'll share that with you. That's for the naysayers.